Before I start this video, I want to say that it's absolutely okay to not to be okay. If you are struggling with depression, anxiety, mental health issues, speaking about it is fine. It actually is probably one of the best things you will end up doing. The reason why I've chosen to speak about this today on my channel is because speaking actually ended up being my therapy. Although at first it was just with my immediate family, no one else on the outside knew what was going on, but it really, really helped, and I hope that this will perhaps maybe help someone else. But if you do want to speak to someone in confidence or anonymously, please, I urge you to pick up the phone and speak to your GP. This is something that I actually ended up doing, but I'll go on to that in a second. Or you can call the Samaritans helpline. I'm going to pop the number just here, and also in the description you can find some other amazing charities. Okay, where to begin? Okay, so at the end of 2018, I really struggled with my mental health. I have never ever in my life experienced such a place in my mind. I can't describe it, only as the darkest place I've ever been in my whole entire life. I was completely at rock bottom. It was that bad that if I went to go and pinch myself, it wouldn't hurt. I had lost all feeling. It was like I wasn't living on this earth. And that actually is quite painful for me to admit, that pinching myself and I couldn't feel it. It's actually really sad. I also couldn't eat, so eating just half a bagel was just too much for me. Even just one biteful, or mouthful, was just too much. I lost so much weight. I think in 1 week I lost about a stone. I looked so frail. If you've been following me for a while, you would know that I've suffered from body dysmorphia in the past. So if I looked in the mirror and I had been working out in the gym and I had tone, I couldn't see it. It's just something that I've always knew I had. But this time when I looked in the mirror, I genuinely was concerned. I have never seen myself that skinny before. I couldn't sleep, and the only 1 hour of sleep that I would get in the morning, I would go and throw up. But the thing is, I couldn't throw up because I hadn't eaten anything, so I was just retching in the toilet. I think that's when it hit Joe quite badly, because he was just so concerned. And seeing someone that you love go through that, I'm sure that's really hard, and it upsets me because I put him through that. My hair started to fall out. It also got really itchy, my scalp, and a bit more greasy, and apparently that's a side effect of stress, but also it was starting to fall out. Obviously, that's really hard to see, just your body almost rejecting you. Your mind and your body are having some sort of argument, and it's just not going well. It's like bloody Game of Thrones with my body and my mind. It was just, it was bad. The most upsetting thing out of all of this is that the trigger was the one thing that I absolutely love in this world, which is my job, social media. Social media was the cause of all of this, or if not the major trigger. When you go to work, obviously you want it to be a happy place. You don't go to work and expect to be bullied, picked on, or just abused. And it just got to the point where I was coming online and I was just getting abuse upon abuse upon abuse. Until that happens to you, I cannot describe how hard it is, how flipping hard. So this is where this video comes into it. So I completely forgotten about this video. It was filmed on the 25th of October 2018. Yeah, so I filmed it, and there's a reason why I filmed it, and I want to get into that because it does completely make sense. Because filming yourself whilst you're upset it might come across as strange to some people, but there was a reason. So at the time, things were getting difficult, and Joe had planned this Amsterdam trip with his friend, and it had been planned for a while, and Joe was like, look, I'm just not going to go. You're obviously not okay. But the thing is, he'd been so excited about this trip that I, of course, wanted him to go. And it was only 3 days. So I thought, it's 3 days. I'll absolutely be fine. So Joe went to Amsterdam. Those 3 days whilst Joe was away was the hardest 3 days of my whole entire existence. So I don't know if any of you guys have experienced this before, but whilst my home was so quiet because it was just me and the dog and the pig in the house, my mind was noisy. It was screaming. Like, the silence was so loud. I genuinely couldn't cope. So this is when I did have a breakdown. And yes, I could have called my sister, but she was at work at the time. I could have called Joe, but he was in Amsterdam. I could have called my friends, yes, I could have, but at this point I'd only spoken to immediate family. And I'd only really, at this time, only felt comfortable speaking to Joe and my sister about it. So instead of contacting them, I just picked up my phone and just started recording this video, just getting it out of my head. Just because it was so noisy, I just didn't know what to do. I just picked up my phone and I started recording and I just let it all out. I haven't watched this video. I'm so nervous. I'm so nervous. Okay, here we go. It's actually so painful watching me like this because I'm never like that. I can't even get the words out. So, the reason why I'm so upset is because I've admitted to myself that I have a serious problem, and it's only just it hit my, it's only just came to realization. And some people may think this is a sign of weakness because I'm letting it all get to me, but I promise you, it's so hard. Usually I am the strongest person in the world, but when you're grinded and attacked, it's so hard. So hard. And so the reason why I'm also very upset is because I've made the first positive move. I've actually I've called my doctor and I've admitted that I'm really struggling. I'm so struggling. Like I said, my mind has gone places that I never thought it would go. Seriously, there needs to be something done about these bullies online. I have only ever promoted a positive and happy place on my channel. It's just so sad that the whole platform is becoming a terrible place. So bad. I want to stop feeling the way I'm feeling. I don't want to think like this. I don't want this. I just want to carry on being the most positive and happy person I can possibly be. And do you know what? If I need to go and talk to someone about it, I will. And I think it's really important to unload and not keep it all in, because I'm so guilty of that. I never cry. And I think sometimes a good cry is probably the best thing, but the thing is, this has been going on for a few months. It's been building and building and building. And I think finally my mind's just cracked. It really has. My day at the moment, I'm usually so happy. But I go through periods of I'm fine, and then I go to a serious low. I can't concentrate. Sometimes I stutter over my words. I can't sleep. I'm constantly anxious. My body aches. It's just everything is hurting right now. I guess I have done like the positive thing, and I've actually picked up the phone to the doctor. Like, no one's in my house at the moment, and how weird I felt at this moment, like picking up my camera. It felt like, I don't know, because Joe's been away for a few days and I've been here on my own. Like, picking up my camera felt like a comfort. It feels like I could talk to someone, and I know no one's like here with me. So I am gonna go and see the doctor in literally like an hour. I am so glad that I picked up the phone to the doctor, spoke to them, and then, like I said in the video, I did go down to see the doctor that day. So I went to the doctor and I was still in the same state. I was crying. I was explaining everything. I think I literally regurgitated what that video said to him. He was so good. So good. He gave me a few options. He gave me like a sheet of paper, but he did actually put me on antidepressants, and I was given these ones, and they're called sertraline. I don't know if I'm saying that right. So with this, when you first start taking them, they do make you feel worse for the first few weeks. So I did start taking them as soon as I got back, and it did make me feel a bit weird. And then by this time, Joe had returned back from Amsterdam. I actually got my sister to come home for a week, and she was so flipping good. And I actually ended up not taking these. I think I only took them for about a week, and then I completely stopped. It's something that I probably shouldn't have done, because you're meant to consult your doctor, but I think the best therapy was just talking about it. Going to see the doctor really helped. Talking to my immediate family members. I then started to talk to like outer family members, and just basically admitting what had been going on. I did then go back to the doctors again to speak about the ongoing anxiety. So I felt that the depression started to get better, but the anxiety didn't. So little things would trigger me. I'd get shortness of breath. I'd get really anxious. I wouldn't want to leave the house. I'd be self-doubting myself when I'm usually such a positive person. So I did go back to the doctors to speak about how I could be treated going forward. So he did give me this sheet of paper, and it's basically like a sheet showing good websites and helplines. So Samaritans is on here. But because the whole thing, like, trigger for me was online, I didn't really want to go online. So I then went to book a IAPT session, which is a psychological therapy. So it's a talking therapy, cognitive behaviour. So they basically assess you and then put you on the right treatment. I found it really useful going. And since having these sessions, I have really started to feel so much better within myself. And it's taken a while. I mean, that video was October and it's now April, and so it's taken a good 5 to 6 months to feel like myself again. But it did definitely get easier after I had initially admitted it, reached out and got help. As soon as I started getting help, it got so much better. Even this video was probably one of the most hardest videos I have ever recorded in my life or in my career of YouTube. I actually feel so much better just speaking about it. I do feel like a weight is lifted off my shoulders, and I feel okay talking about the story. I really do. I think I'd be really happy just talking it to a stranger and just telling them like things will get better, and the best therapy is just to talk about it. I just think that there is no shame. There should be no shame surrounding your mental well-being. Not at all. So I'm going to end it there. Thank you so much for watching. If you've stuck to the end, you are a trooper. I know this is going to be quite a long video. I just want to thank you all for your support. I know who you are, and I promise you that it means so much that I do have a bunch of people who are very supportive, positive, and just want to spread love and positivity. I'm going to leave it there. Thank you for watching.